Welcome back to Creative Cooking. I'm so glad that you stopped back by today. We have been doing some amazing recipes. I hope you've been able to see each and every episode. Every one, we feature a different food. This time, we're going to be featuring chickpeas, and I'm so excited that you are here because chickpeas have amazing properties. Now, understand that the way we cook here is really powerful at lowering blood sugar levels, blood cholesterol levels, and blood pressures. So make sure you speak with your doctor so that he can make or she can make any necessary adjustments to be able to enjoy these delectable, delicious, delightful meals. So first we're going to start with our incredible chickpea chicken salad. If you haven't had it, you're in for a treat. Let me tell you the ingredients. The first ingredient includes garbanzo beans, and we're just going to either use dried garbanzo beans or cooked in a can garbanzo beans. If you use a can, make sure your cans are BPA free because BPA, bisphenol A, is actually a toxin, so we don't want that in our food because it doesn't add any extra flavor. We're going to use a ½ cup of cashew mayo, and we got that recipe coming up for you. I can't wait for you to see that one. A teaspoon and a half of chicken-like seasoning. We'll do 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast flakes, a ¼ cup of sweet onions, and we're going to chop that nicely. 2 celery sticks, green parts, we're going to chop that. We're going to use a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of dried basil, and a teaspoon and a half of black salt. Black salt kind of adds a little bit of an eggy flavor to it, and it'll make you feel like you actually have eggs in the chickpea chicken salad. And then we're just going to use some salt to taste. Let me tell you about the mayo. The mayo uses a cup of raw, unsalted cashews. We soak them and then we rinse them. And you soak them for the cashews, you'll probably soak them about, in a rush, you can do it in about 15 minutes or overnight. Either one, it just makes the cashews a little easier to break down. Then we're going to use a cup of water, 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, 2 teaspoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and 3/4 teaspoons of salt. I usually like to use pink Himalayan salt, but you can use Celtic sea salt, or you can use Redmond sea salt. I do not like to use bleached salts in these meals. We also are going to put in a couple of cloves of garlic, a tablespoon of smoked paprika, and a dash of cayenne pepper to make it spicy. If you don't like spice, you can certainly leave out the cayenne pepper, but you can really get some great circulation by using the cayenne pepper. So we're going to keep it in today. All right, let's get started on the cashew mayo first, okay? So we're going to start with popping in our cashews in there. We're going to put in our salt. And then we have our dried basil. We got some garlic cloves, lemon juice. This actually tastes like mayonnaise. It's really interesting. And then we have some apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is really incredible at lowering your blood pressure. It also is really great for arthritis. So many different things. Here's some cayenne pepper. Just put a little bit of that in there. And then we're going to put some water in it to get it going. Alrighty. Make sure your high-speed blender top is on securely before you start to turn it on. Wipe that down. Okay, let's try some more spinning. And if you can just kind of focus, If you can just kind of focus down here and look at how this is emulsifying together, it really is a great thing to do. And we can just add a little bit more water in here to get, if you need to get it to move the way you'd like. Turn that back on. Let's check and see. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now what we have is some nice little mayo that we're going to use for our chickpea chicken salad. What I have already done is managed to smash the chickpeas. I want to have some pieces that might have a little bit of, just a little bit of the garbanzo, and then most of it is kind of smashed so that you don't really know that it's garbanzo beans that's here. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to move these things out of the way here. I'm going to grab my mixing bowl here and place all of our chickpeas. There is a plural on that because I have more than one chickpea. And then we're going to put in our onions and our celery here. Okay. We're going to put in our nutritional yeast flakes. We have our garlic, and we have our dried basil. Remember, we're using the dried basil. We kind of use it as a substitute for black pepper. So that's that. I just put in some tarragon, and we have some chicken-like seasoning, some black salt, and then some, oops, let my black salt get in there. And then we put in our garlic. You know, I like garlic. I put garlic in, I think we talked about that. I put garlic in so many things, and it just makes the flavor nice and round. So all of this is just going to mix around in here, and then we're going to add our mayo. Okay. You can actually smell this. It smells like there's egg in here. It gives you that, it's almost like you put a boiled egg in. If you know what a boiled egg smells like, that's what this smells like. Very cool. Alrighty. Might have to dig down in there and get the rest of my mayo out of here. I don't know if I mentioned to you, I'm from a large family, so we don't waste much. There were 10 of us in a house growing up, so we tried not to waste much. And then you mix that around and make sure it's well combined so that all the flavors are in. Oh, it smells amazing. Toss it around. If you want more mayo in any of these, or with this chickpea salad, you can actually make more and double the recipe. It doubles really easily. Okay, and there we have this chickpea chicken salad. Now I'm going to be the one to taste it for you because I know you want to know what it tastes like, and let me tell you. Now that is so good. That is so good. Make sure you try it. You're going to love it. Share it with your friends, and they will love it too. Now, Now let's go on to our next dish. We're going to make basil hummus. Our basil hummus ingredients includes 2 cans of chickpeas. I like to boil the chickpeas for maybe about 15 minutes. Pour off the water and use that. It just makes the hummus a little smoother. Then we're going to use a 1/4 cup of tahini, which is really just sesame seeds. You can just grind sesame seeds up if you'd like, but they also sell it already made and you just use a 1/4 cup of tahini, 3 cloves of garlic, 1 cup of fresh basil leaves, and I just roughly chop them, 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, 2 tablespoons of oat milk, but I'm going to say that that is optional. It depends on what consistency you like your hummus. If you like it a little thicker, you don't have to use it. If you like it a little thinner, then use the tablespoon of oat milk and wait until you try it. And so we are going to make our next dish, but I have to tell you, that chickpea chicken salad was so good. Like, the whole crew tried it and everybody loved it. So it's not just me. It is delicious, and I can't wait for you to try it. Look at what it looks like at the finished product. It's amazing. I have the cashew mayo that I've made there, and then we have the chickpea chicken salad that we've just kind of dressed a little bit. And you can dress it any way you like. You can serve it with celery sticks, crackers, blue corn chips. You can make a sandwich out of it. Make sure your bread is gluten-free, but there's so many options. You can just eat it on top of a salad like a chicken salad. So many options for that. But let's get started on the basil, okay? The basil hummus. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put in our chickpeas and we're going to put those into our food processor. I have to be careful with this because I don't want it to be an avalanche and they just fall everywhere. But this is the star of the show. Well, at least one of the stars. I really believe that the star of the show is the fresh basil. So we're just going to stuff some basil in here because this is the amazing stuff right here. Now we're going to put in our garlic. You know, I say 3 cloves of garlic, but again, I love garlic, so 3 to 4, however you choose to do it. We're going to put in our salt. And we're going to put in our tahini. Let's get my spoon and get all of that yummy goodness out of there. I mean, this is really amazing that we're just doing this with like sesame seeds. This is really just sesame seeds that we're using to make our hummus. Hummus is probably one of the healthier snacks you can consume. I'm going to use my leaf to get the rest of that off of there. And then I'm going to put in just a little bit of water. Actually, I'm going to put in a little bit of the oat milk just to get it started. I could use water for this, but I just decided to use the oat milk. Okay. And we're going to turn this on and we're going to pulse. I'm just putting my hand over this just in case it flies over the place. I just want to make sure that we're all safe here. I'm going to stop and add a little bit of water so that it goes a little faster. All right, I have one leaf that's like the Lone Ranger. Didn't want to get in there and mix up. So I'm just going to take it out, and any of my chickpeas that kind of were too far down to make anything happen for it, take that off. And then my leaf, I think this one wants to be a garnish, so I'm going to let that do what it wants to do. All righty. Okay. Now I'm going to just put it in my bowl. You can see nice pieces, nice chunks of that hummus. And then we'll put it in there. The little flecks of basil are just a beautiful addition. I also love the fact that it adds a little green tint to it, because then you know that there's really some basil in here. Although, just smelling it, you will know. You can see I'm really big on basil. You can do so much with it. We showed you that in the episode we did on pesto possibilities. So many things that you can do with basil. And here we're just going to put that as a garnish. And let me show you what it looks like as our finished product. And you can serve this basil, again, just like you're using the chicken salad. You can use it with crackers, celery sticks, carrot sticks, any of the vegetables that you just want to dip. In the beginning of our Reverse It program, we use the basil hummus as a part of our raw portion of our reversing process. And we use celery sticks, carrot sticks, cucumber, all of those raw vegetables that you can use to dip that hummus in, and it makes the vegetables even more delicious, right? Some people don't like the taste of vegetables, but this is certainly a good way to get it in there so that you enjoy it. So let's do our next one. We are going to make a seasoned chickpea salad. Let me tell you what those instructions are. And we're going to use 1 head of green leaf lettuce or red leaf lettuce, maybe even romaine lettuce, depending on your choice, 1/4 cup of fresh cilantro, 1 can of chickpeas, and we'll drain them, but we're not going to rinse them. We're going to use the coating, that sauce, that liquid inside of the can to use as our binder for the seasonings. 1 washed cucumber, chopped. I'm assuming you're washing all of your vegetables, but 1 to 2 organic tomatoes, we'll dice it. 1 teaspoon of garlic. We're going to season our chickpeas with a teaspoon of dried oregano, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and we're going to also use some ground garlic on there. For our pimento crushed salad dressing, doesn't that sound yummy? We're going to use 4 tablespoons of lemon juice, 3/4 cups of water, 2 large garlic cloves, 2 tablespoons of pure maple syrup or local honey. Make sure it's a pure maple syrup, no sugar added items. 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 1 teaspoon of dried basil, 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and here's the surprise, 2 pimento seeds crushed, and then a teaspoon of salt to taste. So we're going to start making the chickpeas, the seasoned chickpeas first, okay? We're going to turn our heat on, let's turn this one on medium. There we go. And then we're going to put in our chickpeas. Very nice chickpeas. You know, that liquid that's on the chickpeas makes an incredible whipped cream, which is very interesting. It's called agua faba. We're not going to make it for this show, but it is something for you to remember. Do not get rid of it because you can use it for something else. It kind of replaces eggs, egg whites at least. So we're going to just heat this up in the pan. And then we're going to sprinkle it with garlic. All right, so I'm going to just kind of make sure it's evenly distributed over all of the garbanzo beans. That really adds a lot of the flavor, garlic. And then we have about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And we'll just sprinkle the rest of that in there. And then we're going to just sprinkle in some oregano over that. Okay. And then we'll toss it around so that all of the seasonings are on everything. And I'm going to let it sit so that it can kind of brown a little bit, but not scorch. And I might just turn the fire up. Oh, no, that's perfect, medium. So we'll leave it right there. And we're going to allow it to not only allow the flavors to sit on those garbanzo beans and give it some flavor, but it's also going to slightly brown them a little bit so that they get a little crispy, just a little crispy. While we're doing that, we're going to work on plating our salad. So we're going to start constructing the salad here. I have a beautiful plate that I'm going to begin with, and we're going to layer our lettuce on the bottom. And we're going to just make this into 2 layers. Okay? And then we're going to layer it with some cucumber. And this is just so that we can get some of the flavor in all of the layers. I'm going to put some cilantro in here. It's really good to, I don't know if you've ever had salad, and all of the good stuff is on the top, and you get to the bottom and you're saying, oh wow, it's just lettuce. This will ensure that that doesn't happen. Then we're going to put our second layer of lettuce on top. And this is obviously a quick recipe that you can duplicate very easily. It's also one that you can triple and double and triple, or I guess 2 comes before 3, so we'll double and triple. So we'll do that and then put the rest of our cucumber here on top. Okay. And then we'll put our cilantro here. Now let's take a look at what our chickpeas are looking like. Look at how they are working. Look at that. So they're working really nicely. You can kind of smell the fragrances. Ooh, that's the oregano that you can really smell. So while that is still getting all married together, we are going to start on our pimento crushed salad dressing. So let's go over here to our high-speed blender, and we're going to put in our ingredients. So we have our water, our maple syrup, then we have our basil, our apple cider vinegar. Again, we're trying to make sure our blood pressure is good, right? We're going to use our lemon, adding all these antioxidants in there. We're going to add our salt, fresh garlic, and we're going to add, our pimentos are a little small, so I'm going to put about 3 to 4 of them in there. And then I'm going to blend them up. Notice there's no oil in here. Now we're going to add a little bit of our smoked paprika, because that's going to give it a nice round smoky flavor, and it's also going to give it a nice red hue. So I love that part. This is a salad dressing made with no oils. It's really simple. I haven't purchased salad dressings in so many years now because it's so much easier to make your salad dressing. Okay, so now that's done, and we're going to just transfer it into our nice little bowl here. We're going to just garnish here with our tomatoes, and it adds that nice beautiful redness to it. And then our garbanzo beans will be in there, and we just kind of pile them up right here in the center. And we're going to use our salad dressing to garnish. Now, how beautiful is that, right? This is our pimento crushed salad dressing, and it is absolutely delicious. We've made 3 incredible meals for you today. You're going to enjoy them. We've made this delicious chickpea chicken salad. We are going to eat that with our fresh vegetables, and we're going to eat it with our fresh carrots or whatever we'd like to choose for it. And then we're going to have our basil hummus. We could do the same thing. We can add blue corn chips. Just whatever you want to eat it with as a sandwich. It's going to be absolutely delicious. And then this delicious salad. It can serve as a meal all by itself, or it can serve as a meal before you eat, or just as a part before you eat your meal. And then you'll just top it with this delicious salad dressing. That how can you go wrong? I'm so excited to have been able to present this to you today. I know you've enjoyed it as much as I have, or at least I hope you have. We are going to come back on our next episode with some more exciting things, so make sure you tune in. Don't forget to incorporate your doctor in these conversations so that he knows that you're looking for health, because health is the new wealth. That's the currency we want to spend, because we want to make health the new normal, right? So reverse type 2 diabetes. Have your friends reverse it with you. Do it as a group effort. It is so much fun to eat not only deliciously, but healthfully. Make health your currency, because we are going to make, what did you say? I can't hear you. Health is the new normal. Have a good day.